Hello everyone, welcome to the channel. I hope you are having a great day. In today's stories, OP's daughter is having her new baby and decides to throw a baby shower, but OP's sister-in-law seems determined to ruin everything. Am I the idiot for telling my sister-in-law to get out of my daughter's baby shower? I, 47 female, have a daughter, 25. She is currently 26 weeks pregnant with her second child, a girl. Her first child, Philip, was stillborn 2 years ago, at 38 weeks, a little boy. When she lost him, she asked us to take apart the nursery before she got home and get rid of the baby equipment. She saved his baby book, his ultrasound photos, and the outfit she planned to bring him home in, along with a lock of his hair in a memory box. She'd had a baby shower for Philip when she was pregnant, but her grief around his death was so strong that she couldn't handle having the nursery and baby things. We offered to return the baby shower gifts to the givers, most kindly refused and asked us to donate the items. Except my husband's sister, Rachel, 43. She made a huge deal out of my daughter being, quote, hysterical and constantly, loudly talked about how ridiculous it was to take apart the nursery. We kept her away from my daughter, and only allowed her to return to family functions when she promised to stop bringing it up. We recently held a baby shower for my daughter's new baby girl. Rachel, along with the rest of my husband's female relatives, was invited. She kept making quiet remarks to everyone that we were tacky for having a baby shower for a second child, but since she didn't get near my daughter, I ignored it. It was when my daughter began opening gifts, it hit the fan. She loudly said, if you hadn't torn Philip's nursery apart and gotten rid of everything, you wouldn't be here begging for presents for this baby. Wow. My daughter froze and just stared off into space, tears started running down her face. I just said, Rachel, please leave. She refused and started arguing with me. I took her present out of the pile, walked to the door, and threw it out. I yelled, get out, now. And my husband came into the room and asked what happened. His mom told him and he physically picked up his sister and put her down outside the door. Now the family is divided over whether I should have yelled at her to get out and thrown her present. Am I the idiot? OP has offered the following explanation for why they think they might be the idiot. 1. I yelled get out at my sister-in-law and threw her present out the front door. 2. Under normal circumstances, yelling at someone and throwing things is idiot behavior. Yeah, but this was not normal circumstances. Info: why was Rachel even invited after the way she talked about your daughter's behavior when she was grieving? The family agreed to keep her away from my daughter until she apologized and agreed to stop talking about it. She did so a few months after Philip's death, and had been invited to several events since without bringing it up. After her previous bad behavior, why would you invite her to the shower and expect her to behave? Because she had apologized, and then refrained from making rude comments for almost 2 years. She had even hugged my daughter when we announced the pregnancy at a family gathering last month. When I overheard her tacky comments, it seemed relatively harmless, especially since everyone was shutting her down. I wish I hadn't invited her, in retrospect. My daughter didn't want to refuse to celebrate this baby because of Philip's loss. We were careful to check in with her in every planning stage to make sure she was still okay, and we all reassured her that if she wanted to cancel, even at the last minute, no one would be mad at her. Her sister even practiced a backup hostess speech to give if she did cancel too close to the start, or after. My husband's aunt and I were going to take my pregnant daughter out for lunch and let her sister explain and host if that happened. If the family agreed, then why is the family divided now? Your actions were too mild. Why invite her to your daughter's baby shower and also keep ignoring her minor remarks? She was talking to other people about how tacky the baby shower was, but was avoiding going near my daughter. Everyone she was talking to was shutting her down, so I let it be. I realize now that was a mistake. I wish I had asked her to leave at the first comment. What is this woman's problem? Why was she so outraged by dismantling the nursery and returning the gifts in the first place? Has she always been such a witch? The remark about begging for more gifts sure says this is about more than the nursery and gifts. Is she jealous of your daughter? Rachel is infertile and cannot have, and never had children. My daughters were already tween/teenagers, 11 and 13, when my husband and I married, and he has no biological children of his own, though he's been a wonderful stepdad. She's never liked it that the, quote, only kids her brother got were another man's. I've robbed her parents of having real grandchildren, blah blah. Oh my God. I hope the rest of your husband's family doesn't treat your daughters that way. That is terrible of sister-in-law. She's about as evil as it gets. They don't. His mom is Gigi to the girls and his dad is Grampy. They've been good to my girls. Rachel supposedly changed after she found out she was infertile, in her late 20s, and her first husband left her. I'm sympathetic, but I think the family just let her get away with increasingly bad behavior as a result, and it led to this. I don't know her, but I'd bet my life that is not why either of her husbands left. The story I've been told is that when she had several miscarriages in a row, and was told it would be very difficult to carry a pregnancy to term, her first husband left. Her second husband left after another round of miscarriages led to a hysterectomy. I don't know if she told him about the previous miscarriages/diagnosis. OP also share. We found out this morning from a cousin that apparently Rachel also criticized us for having a funeral and burial for Philip. Because, quote, it wasn't like anyone actually got to bond with him. We never knew that or she would have never been allowed to apologize and come near our little part of the family again. The cousin showed us the texts, Rachel can't deny it. I think it's where a lot of the resistance from the family is coming from regarding cutting Rachel off for her behavior. There's sympathy for her situation. I'm sure it must be hard for her to watch my daughter's marriage recover from a stillbirth, and see them go on to have another baby after what happened to her. I'm sorry that she couldn't have children, and I'm sorry that both of her husbands abandoned her as a result. That in no way, in my opinion, gives her the right to try to destroy my daughter's happiness. I think the family has gotten so used to the narrative of Rachel as fragile because of her infertility, that it's more habitual reaction than thoughtful reaction. Hopefully we can find a way to move forward as a family at the family meeting this weekend, with the understanding that Rachel will never be allowed around my children or grandchildren again. We are all, both of my daughters, their partners, and my husband and me, going no contact with my husband's support. His mom is sad, because it means she won't get to see us all together anymore, and the rest of the family is upset because we won't attend gatherings that include her, but I'm going to do what's best for my girls and their kids. First, I was going to ask, what does this woman have against baby showers? I know people that have one every time they get pregnant. And why was she so obsessed with how OP's daughter was grieving the loss of her son? Then OP gave us the answers. Well, I sympathize with her unfortunate situation, both with infertility and with the endings of her marriages, but as OP said, that doesn't give her the right to treat others, or rather, future mothers this way. And her family's lack of action to stop her astonishes me. How they let her cruelty go on for so long just to not upset her is insane and kind of dangerous. Because who knows who else she treats like that. And yes, she is jealous of your daughter OP, but also of you, and especially of the family you have with her brother. Not only because she wanted to have her own, but also because I think in her mind she can't accept that her brother chose to marry someone with children already and didn't care about having his own biological children, and he is happy about that. While she was abandoned by two men because she couldn't give them exactly that. But instead of her realizing that they are the ones who suck for doing this, she developed this grudge against your family, and blames you for, quote, stealing her brother's chance to have biological children. Also, is she like this with everyone? I mean, with people outside the family? Because if so, I'm surprised anyone hasn't done something worse than kicking her out. Not the idiot OP. And what did you guys think of this situation? What would you do if you were OP? How would you deal with a sister-in-law like that? Don't forget to leave your thoughts down below. Now let's read what the comments say before we go to the update. Not the idiot, if anything, you were overly generous by trying to ignore her cruel, thoughtless remarks prior to the final horrific outburst. Your daughter's welfare was your priority and must remain so. I can't imagine how heartbreaking the loss of her baby was, and to be reminded of that so callously is unbelievable. Your sister-in-law took a joyous occasion, one full of hope and promise, and poured acid all over it. You and your husband both should be commended for your restraint. I hope your daughter enjoys a healthy pregnancy and that your granddaughter brings you all much joy. Thank you, your kindness is so appreciated. Not the idiot, you've set your boundaries beforehand, for them to be ignored. All your family has been disrespected on this one. This person should apologize immediately. Anyone who has any objections among your family should be pointed out that if they believe disrespect of such a degree is okay with, then they should allow it in their own homes, not yours. Not the idiot. Honestly, if she had done and said that in front of my daughter, I'd have picked her up myself and tossed her ass in the street, and probably would have punched her a few times. Also, she's a wretched person, I'd cut all contact with her. Not the idiot, for getting rid of her when she couldn't keep her word. Best wishes to your daughter for the rest of her pregnancy. You're doing the right thing, best of luck to all of you, and prayers and good thoughts for mama and baby's good health. Thank you so much. And what about you guys? What did you think of the comments? Do you agree with them? Do you have any other advice for OP? Don't forget to leave your comments down below. Oh, and I hope you are enjoying the video so far. If so, don't forget to leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the notifications to know when a new video is out. Now let's go to the updates. Update: am I the idiot for telling my sister-in-law to get out of my daughter's baby shower? We are having a family meeting without Rachel, while my daughters and their partners are away this weekend. We'll update again after the meeting. Update 2. The meeting went well. My husband and I gave a brief summary of what happened, backed up by witnesses. The relatives that couldn't make to the shower are now aware of what happened. The family consensus is that Rachel is unequivocally to blame and should not be allowed to be around my daughters or their kids. Other people in the family brought up issues they've had with her in the past along similar lines, especially involving pregnancy and kids. Rachel will no longer be included in large family gatherings. Those who want to continue a relationship with her will do so on their own, and have been informed that advocating for Rachel to be forgiven and included or feeding her information about me, my husband, or our kids and grandchildren will result in us going no contact with them as well. My mother-in-law has apologized profusely for making the remarks about being sad that she won't have both of her children under her roof for the holidays anymore. We have accepted her apology because her feelings are valid and this is sad for her. Thank you so much for all your support. Well, sometimes we have to cut toxic people out of our lives, even if they are close to us. And I think you are doing the right thing for yourselves, your kids and grandchildren. And maybe even for Rachel too, since being around you causes so much stress and trouble for her. I really hope that after this decision, she seeks help, therapy or something to work on this hurt of hers and how she treats others. And honestly, I don't even think your mother-in-law should have apologized for her comment, unless you think she said it with the intention of manipulating you into changing your mind. Because yes, in the end, this is a sad outcome. Of course, the best thing would be for everyone to get along, and for this decision not to have to be made, and it is okay for mother-in-law to be sad about it. The same way she also will have to accept and respect your decision regarding her daughter, which I'm glad she did, but it still doesn't make this reality any less sad. Good luck OP, may your granddaughter be born full of health and joy, and may things get better from now on for you and your family. And what about you guys? What did you think of the update? Do you think OP made the right decision? Would you do the same as her or not? Don't forget to leave your comments down below. Now let's go to the next story. You want every mail printed and handed to you? Sure thing, boss. I used to work for a middle manager who hated reading emails. Every time we'd send project updates or questions, he'd ignore them. When called out on it, he loudly declared, "If it's important, print it and hand it to me. I don't read emails." Alrighty then. Cue the malicious compliance. I printed every single email I sent him. Reminders, client follow-ups, even memes someone accidentally CC'd me on. I'd walk over to his desk 6 to 8 times a day with a mini stack of paper like, "Per your request." Within a week, his desk looked like a filing cabinet exploded. He couldn't find anything. He started snapping, "Why are you printing all this?" I smiled sweetly and reminded him, "You told us to." 2 weeks later, he sent out a company-wide email, yes, really, asking us to only email him from now on. Guess he learned how to open Outlook. LOL. Oh my god OP, good one. But for a moment there I thought you were playing with fire here. I thought your boss was going to end up firing you. A good thing that wasn't the case, and he finally realized that wasn't the best command to give his team. And that's it for today, everyone. I hope you enjoyed it. If so, go watch the video that is appearing on the screen right now or click on one of our playlists that are in the description to watch more videos. Until next time.